You're very welcome. Thank you for logging in, logging out, whatever it is you do to get here. It is much appreciated, I have to say. If you've got a minute, I would appreciate if you also sort of hit that wee follow button. It's somewhere on the screen. I don't know where it is. Top, bottom, left, right. I don't know. But here, I'll tell you what it is. This is the 17th of March, 2024. Sunday, the 17th of March, 2024. And that means only one thing. It's time for... Yes, time for Wanker of the Week. And this week's a bit different in that it isn't an individual. This week, it's a whole organisation. Namely, Belfast City Council. Oh, let me start by saying this. I hate people who say, I told you so. They invariably turn out to be narcissistic bores. I would never say anything like that. No. But I would ever point out that my Irish news columns have proven to be uncannily prescient over the years, which of course is my way of saying, told you so. An issue I commented on was highlighted last week by Belfast top tailor Chris Suter, who has started an online campaign to try to turn around the state of Belfast city centre and its continuing slide into dereliction.
I just wanted to show you. Now, I know it's easy to go to bad parts of the city, right? I totally understand that. I get that. And yes, this is an easy thing for me to bring up, right? Because this is the worst part of the city. But this is our main street. What other western city in Europe is the dilapidation and the dereliction on their main street? And I totally get it that this is Tribeca and this is all landowners, and I know Belfast Stories is going up there, but why is nobody holding these guys to account? Like JGB closed in 2012. Why is that shop not repurposed and reopened for pop-ups or for new businesses or for something? And it just goes on and on and on and on. Like, this is our main street, lads.
I personally, on the 5th of November 2022, in my column, I'd written, the north of the city centre, which Belfast City Council handed to property developers to become the ridiculously named Tribeca District. It exhibits a dereliction and decay even worse than during the height of the conflict. There are now murmurings that the council is seeking to vest back control from the Tribeca non-developers, which would indicate it's finally woken up and realised that their brilliant deal wasn't so brilliant after all. Only in the last few days we learned that the company which owns the properties involved in the stalled Tribeca scheme has applied to renew a number of planning approvals after they expired. Project Goat Limited, and I'm not making that up. I'm not making that name up. That's what they call it. They're called Project Goat Limited. Somebody's taking the piss, right? They have planning permission for more than 40 proposals relating to the 12-acre site bounded by Royal Avenue and Donegal Street. Now, the applications are part of the proposed 500 million scheme launched in 2017 by London-based Castlebrook Investments. Yet after all those years, not one brick has been placed upon another. Brilliant work, Belfast City Council. Oh, brilliant. Oh, I see you boys. They didn't see yous coming. I also said on the 23rd of July, 2023, that I felt sorry for tourists here. You know what I mean? And their confusion over Belfast's ludicrous Sunday opening hours. You know, you can see them. You can see them any Sunday morning, wandering vainly in search of an open coffee shop, much less a bar. Ignorant of the fact that Belfast maintains Victorian Sunday opening hours, where it's much easier to get a hit of heroin than a latte. And that's another issue. That's another obvious issue, is Belfast's rampant drug problem, a curse with its attendant mortalities. Now, I will not bore you with a number of times I've argued in my column for the adoption of a safe consumption room, which would stop inadvertent overdoses and also the mountain of discarded syringes you have to wade through in central Belfast these days. And it would also be a point of contact between the addicts and those who could possibly help them. God forbid we do something like that. Tragically, I'd take a guess it will take years before our council finally adopts what most rational people recognise as an obvious way to end these avoidable deaths. Now, get me here on here. I don't believe that any of these predictions, any of these insights are down to my possession of a higher than average IQ. There's some chance. Quite the opposite. I believe most people could have made the same predictions and the same insights. Seemingly the only people who can't are Belfast's city councillors. For the common denominator stretching over the both issues, be it the rundown of the city centre or our drug problem and lack of safe consumption room, is the ineptitude of our elected civic representatives. I'd argue Belfast is ill-served by those you've elected to serve. I don't vote, of course. It's got nothing to do with me. This balls up is all your fault. You understand? Nothing to do with me. And I'm not going to say there aren't good councillors down there, because there are. There are some guys and girls working themselves to the bone, doing brilliant work. But due to our troubled past, many councillors now running Ireland's second city wouldn't make it onto a school board anywhere else but for the fact they ran under the party ticket. And I give not one shite what flag they fly or nor anthem they sing. They should and must be judged on their actions, not their loyalties, words or empty promises. For unlike others, I will not mince my words. Central Belfast is a shithole. It reeks of decay and dereliction. It's an embarrassment to all but the self-deluded in Belfast City Hall who are sitting there going, it's not that bad, sure it's not. These are the same people. If they were on the deck of the Titanic after the iceberg hit, they'd be going, look, we don't have to go down to the bar to get our ice. I take no pleasure in saying any of this. Belfast is my city. It's a city I've chosen to call home and where I've lived all my life and intend never to leave. Although they might extradite me after this. There's a possibility they could extradite me. I could end up in the gulag or something, you know what I mean? I could end up in Larne. You never know what they could do to me after this. But it doesn't matter. Our politicians need to waken up and smell the stink. We desperately need them to start taking hard decisions based not on pleasing their narrow political base, but in the interests of all the city's citizens. Unless they have this shift in mentality, my generation could end up reminiscing about Belfast in the good old days, during the Troubles.
Oh, wasn't it great then? Oh, they were happy days. Happy days.
God forbid. But you see, if that does happen, don't you forget.
I told you so. That's all, folks.